Hello and welcome to the Penno channel, where we're going to be talking about the latest transfer news, incomings and outgoings. But mainly this one is going to be about outgoings because there's a lot happening at Villa currently. Before we get into this one, if you could like the stream, subscribe if you're new around here. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, so please subscribe. And also let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below as well, because it looks like it's all going off at Villa. Obviously, because of PSR and FFP issues regarding Villa, it looks like there's going to be a number of sales before the June 30th deadline to comply with PSR. And there's so many names. I've spoken enough times regarding Douglas Luiz in a swap deal with Weston, McKennie and Samuel Iling Jr., plus around 18 to 20 million euros within the deal. All looks set to be concluded within the next few days. It's funny, USA played Brazil last night and Weston McKennie and Douglas Luiz both shared the same pitch. Did end up being a draw. But yeah, it is intriguing that whilst both players are away on international duty, it looks like the deal's going to be wrapped up soon. And obviously the Copa America is coming up as well. So there's big tournaments coming up for international players, as well as the Euros for European players as well. So Villa are going to tie up a number of deals, I think, before that 30th of June deadline, that being one of them, whilst players are away. So yeah, Douglas Luiz, it looks like that's all going to be concluded soon. What a player he's been for Villa. 5 years, he's one of the longest serving players within the squad now. Signed when we initially got promoted for £15 million. Man City failed to get a work permit for him from Girona. Villa managed to do so, managed to sign him. There was an initial release clause within the Man City contract in which they never activated, so he stayed longer. There was many other sagas, including deals made by Arsenal, which were rejected. Somehow Villa managed to get him to sign a new deal when we had Gerrard and Perslow at the club still. And then he's just gone on from strength to strength. Initially situated as a DM under Dean Smith, operated in that position, and kind of it wasn't his position, but albeit when we came back in that first season from COVID, he was the best player for Villa. He helped keep Villa up, along with others such as Grealish and Trezeguet. He was outstanding in that DM role. Didn't kick on as much within the next season or two, had some good performances, but it always looked like, to me anyway, that he should be playing further forward. He was more of an 8. And that's what inevitably happened. He got moved forward when Unai Emery came into the club. He was struggling for minutes under Steven Gerrard, as a number of players were, Ollie Watkins, Tyrone Mings, sometimes John McGinn as well. He was one of those as well. But Unai Emery had full faith of him. He became his orchestrator. He would go through, everything would go through Douglas Luiz. Unai Emery used him for his ability and also because of the language as well. And yeah, Douglas Luiz just went from strength to strength, had a fantastic season last season. And this is why he's garnered so much attention throughout his career at Villa. What a player. And we are going to miss him. But we do get 2 signings in. We get a full international USA midfielder in Weston McKennie, and we get an England under 21 international in Samuel Iling Jr. And also a bit of money as well, which will help to balance the books. And both deals will also go towards PSR as well. So we will look on the books around 60 million euros, potentially a bit more, a bit less, which is good because you can automatize that money. Whereas for the players we do sign, but whereas we'll get a lump sum on the books for Douglas Luiz. And moving on, it looks like Phil Coutinho, another one, will be leaving. Another Brazilian out the door. It's a bit of a shame, really, that the Brazilian Spanish contingent are starting to break up, because there's such a strong relationship through the Argentinians within that as well. But yeah, it looks like Phil Coutinho is going to head back to Vasco da Gama, back in Brazil. His boyhood club. Funny enough, him and Dougie both came through that academy as well. So he looks like he'll be returning there. A real shame to lose. Well, not in the sense lose, but a real shame. It just never really worked out. He had a few impressive games under that loan. We always remember that initial game against Manchester United, the 2-2 draw. What an impact. Had a few games I'll reminisce about against Leeds. Kind of suffered from injuries at times as well. He's just not been the same player since he's had that big injury at his time at Barcelona. Came back again, even under Unai Emery. I always remember the 4-2 loss against Arsenal. He started that game. He had influence. He scored in that game as well. He was starting to have a real influence again, but again, he's played by injuries, and he's just not the same player. And his body can't just hack the physicality and the speed of the Premier League. But what a player at times. And he did shine some few moments as magic, as Gerrard liked to always say and wanted his players to do. But yeah, Phil Coutinho, kind of looking back on it, the permanent deal wasn't the right option. It looks like now it's a lot of money waste. He had that loan out in Qatar as well, where again it hasn't really worked out and haven't looked to sign him. So it looks like Villa have come to an agreement to terminate his contract, and I wish Phil Coutinho all the best. Had a great song, showed some moments of true brilliance. At his best, one of the best players I've seen live play for Villa for sure. And yeah, wish him all the best in his career and what he goes on to do. Few more. Jhon Duran, again, it looks like Chelsea are going to be signing Jhon Duran, looking potentially at around £40 million now. For his age, that is a lot of money for his age and for the amount of minutes he's played for Villa. But Chelsea are looking to buy potential. I mean, there's not many strikers in the Premier League around his age. When he has played, even though he's had limited minutes, when he has played, he has contributed. He's had impacts on games, and there's so much potential in there. He's got a wonderful left foot, absolutely hammers the ball when he strikes the ball. It strikes it really true. And he can be coached. He just needs a lot of coaching. But I think the potential is there for everyone to see. He's part of the Colombia squad. He plays games for Colombia. And if you look around Europe, potentially the world, how many strikers of his age are there that are showing potential within the Premier League? You think to yourself, Evan Ferguson, obviously Man United signed Rasmus Højlund. I think he didn't get too many more goals than Jonathan Duran, and he cost £70 million. So yeah, this one's going to be a sad one for me to see because I think there's so much potential there. But obviously, Unai has other plans. He doesn't fancy him. So yeah, all the best to Jhon Duran, and Chelsea are getting a really top talent. But if Villa recruit the money that's been floated around and being reported, then it's also a great deal for Villa as well. So I think it's a good deal both ways because Villa will get that amount of profit on the books as well, which will help towards PSR, FFP, and just allow for Villa after the 1st of July to make signings, and they can look to spend some money then as well because they'll have that buffer within the money they've received from players. But yeah, Jhon Duran going to Chelsea, I think he could really do great there. Obviously, Chelsea have problems, but they're trying to develop these young players, and it's going to take time. But Duran could have a really great career at Chelsea as well. I'll miss him personally because I really rate him and his potential as well. But to get a fee like that, it's also great business for Villa. And finally, the last one, Matty Cash. Now, Villa have put a 30 million price tag on Matty Cash, and AC Milan are one of the clubs so far who have really taken an interest into him. They're not. It's reported that they're not looking to pay that amount of money. Maybe a bit less, 20 to 25, but Villa are asking for that for Matty Cash. Matty Cash, again, a great servant for the club, bought under Dean Smith, bought in that fantastic window where we signed Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez, and look how all those players have gone on to now, all represent their countries, all had fantastic seasons for Villa and helped to get the club into Champions League. But it might be time for Matty Cash to move on now. I think potentially the team is starting to outgrow him. You have to think, in Emery's first season, Ashley Young played a lot of games at right back. Matty Cash wasn't as involved. He did have his games within that. And this season as well, there's been times where Matty Cash hasn't played because Emery's fancied Ezri Konsa as the right back. Even Cash had been pushed further forward to a right midfield slot to occupy as in a right wing back or right midfielder within the system. So Unai could see that he can make good money on Matty Cash and find a replacement, as well as remembering Costa Nejelevic will be coming in as well this summer, and also Ezri Konsa potentially will still play off that right back position, as well as being an option at centre back as well. So there is opportunity to make some good money on Matty Cash, who he's been here a few years, improved, and if there's other clubs interested, it will no doubt be another move which the club might be looking to make. I think the team kind of is outgrowing Matty Cash for me personally. I think that's right back is an area that we definitely need to target if we're going to not play as Konsa there and play him in his preferred position of centre back. We obviously got the youngster coming in, the Serbian, but also we could be looking for a starter within that role if Matty Cash is sold as well. So again, I wish Matty Cash all the best. If he does stay, great. If he does go, it's good money for him for sure. If they definitely get the 30 million, I think even 25 million is good money for Matty Cash. Again, all these players that we are selling, we're making profit on. You've got to think Douglas Luiz, 15 million. We're making profit on him. We've helped nurture and develop him, and that's fair. Jhon Duran, we've only had him a season and a bit, and you know, if we double our money on him, that's great in terms of how you buy a player, you build him, and then you sell him for, you know, a fee which is over 100% of the fee you initially paid for. So it's great. It's great business. Also, reports of Alex Moreno potentially going to Real Betis. It looks like this window is a real munchy window in terms of a squad overhaul. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And thanks for watching. If you could like the stream, also if you could subscribe if you're new around here as well. It'd be much appreciated. I'll be carrying on giving the transfer updates as well. But up the Villa, and let's see what else happens within this transfer window.